If you've ever wondered whether summer's slower pace could actually make your mental load lighter instead of just feeling lighter, this video is for you, and I'm glad you're here. For many, summer feels lighter. No school pickup scramble, no homework battles, no evenings swallowed by sports and music. But I want to challenge something you probably haven't thought about. That lighter feeling, it's lying to you. Summer isn't a break from your mental load. It's the only season with enough breathing room to actually fix it. And most moms let it slip by without realizing that. And if that's you, I get it. Nobody tells you summer is a window. It just feels like survival with slightly better weather. You're doing what every other season trained you to do. Manage, not delegate. I did this for years. I'd sit there monitoring when my kid's show was ending, waiting for the right moment to ask them to empty the dishwasher. I called it managing. What it actually was, me doing all the invisible work, just with a little more margin in my day. The slower pace of summer was the perfect window to teach my kids to own that task completely. I used it to micromanage instead. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which tasks to hand off to your school-age kids this summer and why doing it now is the smartest mental load move you'll make all year. You've probably already tried asking your kids to help more this summer. Maybe it even worked for a week. Then you were right back to reminding, re-asking, following up. So why does asking for help never actually stick? Every time I asked my kids to empty the dishwasher, I was asking for a favor, a one-off. Can you do this today? And when it was done, we were back to zero. I'd have to ask again tomorrow and the day after that. I was still the one deciding when it needed doing, who was doing it, and whether it got done right. The task moved. The job stayed with me. Here's the shift. Asking for help keeps a task inside your scope and just borrows their hands for a minute. Real change means the task never leaves your scope entirely and becomes part of theirs, a standing piece of how they contribute to the family, not a favor you request when you are overwhelmed and exhausted. Asking is a favor. Ownership builds capacity. But the second you make that shift, you'll hit a wall, because owning it completely and do it right don't mean the same thing. That's where most parents get stuck. Let's talk about why. Here's the wall you'll hit the second you hand something off. It won't be done the way you do it, and your brain will immediately tell you there's a problem. Back to the dishwasher. Once my kids actually owned it, not just emptied it when I asked, but were responsible for it, the silverware went in the wrong slot. Odd items, the stuff that doesn't have an obvious home, got left sitting on the counter instead of put away. My instinct was to swoop in, fix it, put it back right, because it would have taken me 30 seconds and looked correct. But correct was never the actual goal. Capacity was. If I fix it myself, I've taught them one thing. This isn't really theirs. The odd items left sitting on the counter aren't a failure. They're a kid who doesn't know where those things go yet. Good enough now means the silverware's in the drawer, maybe the wrong slot, and the mystery items are sitting out where I can see them, not put away, wrong, or hidden. That's a starting point, not a problem to correct. It gets better as they learn the system, not because you stepped in and fixed it for them. Done right today costs you the growth that would come tomorrow. And this holds whether the task is the dishwasher or something with real stakes. The bigger the task, the more it's worth letting go a little sooner, not later. Once you've let go of done right and let good enough do its job, you're ready for the part everyone actually came here for, which tasks to hand off first. So for the September payoff, which tasks actually make a difference? Not just any chore, the ones that specifically target what's making September hard before September even gets here. Picture your worst weekday morning or evening once everyone's back to full school and work responsibilities. What's the moment you're most likely to snap? For a lot of moms, it's the same 2 or 3 things every single day. Lunchboxes, backpacks, the evening scramble to get everyone fed and to bed. That's not random. Those are the sticking points carrying the most invisible weight, which makes them the highest value places to transfer ownership now, while there's room to practice before that pressure comes back. So here's what to hand off this summer while there's room to practice, to actually fix that fall moment. The filter, not a list, is what matters because the right task depends on your specific kid and your specific sticking point. So there's 3 things to weigh. First, age appropriate. It should stretch them without setting them up to fail. Enough challenge to build real capacity, not so much that it becomes another thing you end up managing. 2, that it actually helps. Not busy work, not something you'll quietly redo later. It should touch one of the sticking points you just pictured, the ones that make your mornings or evenings hard. And 3, strength-based. Notice what they're already good at or drawn to and hand off something that plays to it. The organized kid, the one who loves being in charge, the one who notices details you miss. Each of them can become the family's expert on something, not just another set of hands. There are plenty of task ideas online if you want a longer list to pick from, but the list matters less than the filter above. If a task doesn't clear all 3, it's not worth the transfer yet. By September, this isn't a chore chart. It's a smaller version of what runs your household every day, running without you. Now, I want to be honest about what this actually feels like in practice, because it's not going to be smooth the first week. So let's talk about that. Here's what nobody mentions about handing off real responsibility. It doesn't feel like relief right away for either of you. By trying to make things easier for my kids, I kept almost all of the work on my side of the ledger. Every task I did for them instead of with them felt like love in the moment, but it also meant I was quietly preventing them from growing into more than I let them prove. If I had a redo, building my kids' capacity through more real responsibility, not less, is the thing I'd do differently. I didn't realize I wasn't just protecting them. I was unintentionally keeping all of us from growing. 2 things are happening at the same time, and both are normal. Your kid is frustrated because a new task feels harder before it feels easier. And nobody enjoys the clumsy beginner phase of anything. And you're fighting your own urge to rescue. Because watching them struggle with something you could fix in 10 seconds feels unbearable when you've spent years being the one who fixes everything. Neither of those feelings means you made the wrong call. They mean the old pattern is loosening its grip, and that's uncomfortable before it's freeing. Some kids will push back harder than others. That's a different conversation than what we're covering today. And if that's your situation, be patient with yourself too. Here's what helps in that moment. Remembering why you're doing this. Not because the dishwasher needs to get done, because you want to raise a capable, contributing person, and because you want your own life to have more room for fun, not just logistics. That's not a chore goal, that's a values goal. And when you can name that for your kid too, I'm asking you to own this because you're capable of it and because it helps you become more independent and able to do more things on your own. The task stops being just a task. It becomes something you're both working toward together. The discomfort isn't a sign to go back. It's a sign it's working. Hold on to that the first time it gets messy, because it will. And what's on the other side of that mess is worth it. By the end of this summer, the dishwasher won't be the point anymore. What you'll actually have is a kid who knows they're capable of more than you used to let them prove, and a little more room in your own life for something other than managing every detail. That's not a smaller mental load. That's a stronger family. One honest note. Fall will test this. The habit might wobble when the pressure comes back. That's not failure. That's the system doing exactly what it's supposed to do under stress. You keep reinforcing it, not because it's broken, but because that's what building something real actually looks like. If you're ready to stop carrying mental load alone, come join Ambitious and Well, where overwhelmed working parents start becoming energized leaders. It's free, and the link is in the description. I'll see you inside. Thanks for being here with me today. I'll see you in the next video.